man börjar med oft bergsparkalor när is och fyr samman blir stad.
Alrighty, guys, how are we doing? Welcome to the VAS, also known as the Victorious ARAM series. So, this is something a little different than we've done normally, but it's going to be a fun time, and we do have a couple things to lay down before we do get started, right? So,
hmm
let us start off with a couple rules. Why don't you lead us in, Becky?
Yeah, so the Victorious ARM series, as as you can sort of tell by the name, this is not going to be your traditional kind of Summoner's Rift League of Legends. We are no longer going to accept macro play. It is all about team fights. It is all about skirmishing in the only lane in the game, that is the mid lane. Truly the North American League of Legends experience. However, we're the format. You can think that we still have best of 3 series here. So each team in each match will have 3 games maximum to claim victory over their opponents. However, picks are definitely very different. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
for this ARAM like event, we have decided to not quite make it the traditional ARAM system because you can't do that in custom games because of reasons. So we have created an AI program to put together team rosters of 15 possible champions for each team. So this simulates a full team of 5 players having 2 rerolls each. So 15 champions are on the table for both of our teams in any of these games. And any of those 15 champions are viable to be picked in that match. However, neither team is going to know what the other team is bringing to the table until they get into the loading screen. So, both of these
Mm-hmm.
teams are going to have to think pretty critically about what should we bring, what is strong here, or perhaps what do we have that can counter our opponent's particular strategies. So, it's going to require maybe a bit of prediction and a little bit more strategy than you'd expect from an ARAM tournament, right?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, ARM is a little more nuanced than a lot of people like to think about, right? Especially now that we get to use 15 champions, it's not just completely random. So you do have a better chance of generating yourself some better champs. So, for example, let's take a look at what we have on the docket here for game number 1, right? Dirty Mike and Brad Balster, their comps looked pretty solid overall, right? So from Dirty Mike, we got the Galio, Karthus there, and you can see all the champs following up there, right? And then Brad Balster also has their lineup rolling as well. So, taking a look at what Dirty Mike has, I think some of their key champs that they can grab up here, right? You mentioned Enchanters being really strong in ARAM, so the Sona, I definitely think is going to be a big pickup. Also, a great champion there going to be that Rel, as well as the Karthus too. And I think there's a lot of other champs that they can grab up, like the LeBlanc. For AD, they could potentially grab up the Kiana, who does have a lot of big walls to work with too. Right? There's a lot of
Mhm.
options here for the side of Dirty Mike here in game 1. But what do you think about Brad Balster's generation of champs here?
Brad Balster definitely in this first game. They kind of got the short stick in terms of their options rather in terms of the strong ARAM champions. What Brad Balster is lacking is a lot of good engage tools. They're going to be very
Mm-hmm.
reliant on using Mark Dash and having to bring whatever little CC they have to the table. Something like Camille's hook shot or Poppy's stun into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Belveth is unironically probably the best tank that they have, right? That's Belveth is their best frontliner, you could argue, in terms of just being there to soak damage and disrupt fights. So they're very limited in terms of what they have in the front lines. However, I think where they have an advantage over Dirty Mike is in terms of their ability to just take objectives. You've probably, if those of you who've played ARAM out there, you've probably been in a situation where it's a really close game and it's just decided by the fact that one person or one team gets 20 seconds uninterrupted to just push, right? And that requires having a good sustained damage champion, an AD carry or an AP carry of similar note. And Brad Balster, they have Tristana, they have Twitch, they have Misfortune, they have Senna even. They have options in terms of sieging these turrets if given the chance. The question is, will they get the chance? And I do not know if just the roster they have is capable of beating down what Dirty Mike can bring to the table.
And there are two general philosophies when playing ARAM. The team with either the highest poke or the highest engage has the best chance of winning here, right? So taking a look here at Brad Balster, they do have some really strong early game champs with good poke, right? Taking a look at like AP Misfortune, Karma as well, and even the Senna does have some decent range, and WMX Kha'Zix is also an option when it comes to just laying down damage from far away. But looking at Dirty Mike, they have that other philosophy. Go in and take someone out as fast as possible. They have the Rel, they have the Pantheon, they have Leona, they have a lot of ways into fights. And a lot of ways to start them off, right? Which is definitely something that you said, Brad Balster is heavily lacking. But we can look at a couple of the fun things that Brad Balster could look for, right? They have the Nunu. They could look to Ice Fish from those brushes, get those little big nukes going on. Rumble as well does lay down some damage. They just don't really have the CC to make that champ work crazily well, but it can work with the help of the big Nunu slow. There's some options. They're just not as straightforward as the stuff given to Dirty Mike so far.
Yeah, and really, at least from my ARAM experience, assassins can get quite absurd just because of the fact that Riot has lovingly given every assassin in ARAM a roughly 5 to 20% bonus damage, depending on who it is. So, they can get a little out of hand. Even a champion like Kiana, you could do some sort of hybrid tanky build and still one-shot people. It's just another one of those options that Dirty Mike has that Brad Balster really is kind of lacking. I think, looking at what they have, they do still have Ayumi and Karma. Karma actually has buffs in ARAM, believe it or not. So she is slightly more effective. Very slightly. I think it's only like a 5% increase to her damage and a minor increase to her shielding, but either way, it does make her slightly more effective, and Mantra E could be another, or Mantra Shield, I don't remember which button it is, that could be a decent way of getting into the fray and into combat if they really are just struggling to figure out how to get in on a fight.
They do have ways to make things happen. Again, like I said, not straightforward though, but they can work. They can get the job done, but it's just ease of execution coming in from Dirty Mike. It's so much easier to make things happen, but if you have the fingers, it might be a little bit easier to make things happen on Brad Balster's side, but we'll see how things do play out, right? We should be getting into game very, very shortly, but I mean, both these teams do have their ways to play this game out, and we are going to be going to a game 2 no matter what. So I do think personally that the champion roster coming in from Dirty Mike is slightly favored going into game number 1, right? I do think they have better options and versatility, which is sort of lacking from Brad Balster. But overall, I mean, it could go either way depending on what champs get fed, right? Because even again, Brad Balster has the Akshan. That champion is such a threat in ARAM just because of that huge res, right? It doesn't matter if you kill 4 of his teammates. If he can pick up that big res and bring them all back, your kills don't matter.
Yeah, Akshan is definitely that kind of big question mark that Brad Balster has in terms of if they can make use of it. If they get a perfectly timed revive, they could take the game instantly, especially because they have all of those champions, Akshan himself included, that are quite good at taking objectives. So we'll have to see. It could just be they stall out, wait to get their one fight. They could sort of try and turn a fight on its head, force Dirty Mike to play aggressive, and step into their own demise, step into an equalizer, step into a absolute zero from out of nowhere, right? Step into a Lowy's zone. They have some of those tools to try and turn a fight around, even if they can't start one. So we'll just have to see if they can make use of them, and the Akshan as well, if they decide to bring that to the table. I am really not sure if they will, mostly just because I wonder. I tried to think if he does have damage buffs. I feel like he
I
shouldn't.
think he's balanced.
He's
As is.
perfectly
I think
balanced, as
he's
all things
perfectly
should be.
balanced. The
Yes,
ARAM,
yes.
lovely little buff, lovely little status effect that he does have. But
Hmm.
the Akshan is an X factor. But one thing to note here in this series, right?
Hmm.
Everyone has a different toolbox, but it's how you use these tools that's going to get you that victory, right? So we look at the tools from Brad Balster. They have Akshan, they have Nunu, and they have the 80 carries. Like you said, they have ways to just shove towers down if the game explodes. But looking at Dirty Mike, their toolbox is all in on the go-in composition. They
Hmm.
want to dive, they want to play forward, they want to just go in, trade kills, and get things rolling. But now we actually get to see what's going to get picked up here in just a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah,
As we are
and
actually picking
we're
stuff up.
seeing some picks come in. I don't know how this is gonna look on stream actually. Let me unpause the stream. Oh nope. Not visible.
Alrighty.
Okay. So we'll talk a little bit about this. On the side of Dirty Mike and the boys, we have Nasus and Cassio and Karthus all have been locked in. Very interesting choices. It looks like instead of picking some of those more aggressive engage picks, they're trying to play a little bit slower, a little bit more controlled. Meanwhile, on the other side, Poppy, Misfortune, and Karma have all been locked in, and Rumble, and Senna have been locked in. So, Brad Balster is locked in their full comp.
So Brad Balster predicting a lot of those engaged champs that we were talking about, right? The Leona, the Pantheon, the Rel, but looking at Dirty Mike, they haven't picked up a single one of those champs, right? The only champion that has a dash on the side of Dirty Mike is going to be that Kiana, and even then, she doesn't have to full commit for her dash. She can dash forward slightly, get her big ulti down onto a bunch of them without getting into Poppy range whatsoever, right? So it's going to be pretty crazy to think about how these things are going to roll, because that Poppy is going to have very low value because of the champs that were picked up here by Dirty Mike, and I think that's a good sign of recognition coming in from them. They knew for a fact that they were going to lock in that Poppy. So Dirty Mike was like, all right, boys, we're going to lock in the champs that have nothing, that do not have to interact at all with that Poppy. We don't have to go in anymore. We can just play for our damage. We can play Suicide Karthus. We have great burn damage with Leandri's on Karthus and Cassio. And most likely, they're going to have to run into us. Right? I think that's generally speaking
Yeah.
the
Now,
process here.
yeah, interestingly enough, now it is actually sort of Brad Balster who are given more of those engaging kind of tools with the Karma, with Poppy, with even Rumble a little bit, cutting off their exit with an equalizer, and then just running at them with your big dumb idiot face. He has those sorts of abilities. And the team has sort of spec'd themselves in a way where now they're going to be having likely the ones making the first move in any of these fights. And man, Cassio, Karthus, Sona, Nasus, the four of them, it's so hard to get in. And I actually really like the Nasus here. Jerryman calling out the fact that Brad Balster's top potential, their X factor comes through the 80 carries they have in their pool. So pick the guy that cripples them. I like that idea. I think it's very smart.
I do like that pickup a lot, and I mean, running straight forward into a Nasus when he places down that armor and Amar Shred is going to be really, really rough here for the side of Brad Balster, because their longest range things are going to be that Equalizer and that bullet time, right? But in order to get those down, they need CC, and that means Poppy has to run forward with the help of Karma. And running forward into the side of Dirty Mike is kind of rough, right? Running through a Karthus zone, running through a Cassio Miasma, really hard to deal with. But we'll figure out how the game is going to be played out in just a second here as we get rolling here for game number 1 of the night. We'll be right back. In just a second. Alrighty, everyone, how are we doing? Game number 1 is on the docks, and we're rolling, getting things moving. And taking a look here, we do see a lot of tiers picked up for the side of Dirty Mike, and only one person going through the Hex Gate. But one thing to note here in ARAM, these starting items that you are seeing that you might not be familiar with are super, super strong because they give you that early game advantage of having, just better stats.
Yes. The Guardian's Horn it has been picked up by a couple of the tankier members on either side of the rift. The Guardian's Blade was picked up by Kiana. It looks like nobody has picked up either. Okay, now we do have the Guardian Orb on Karthus. And each of these items, they give 150 HP, some amount of a stat. We do have some kerfuffling going on here, as Sona is taken quite low.
Poppy unbelievably low, will not be able to be taken down, but the damage is coming through. That big poke coming from the Misfortune, doing a lot of work here, but no kills found, but the health bars are getting lower and lower. They're dwindling down, but Kiana going in, looking for something. She cannot confirm the kill.
Yeah, you gotta know in ARAM, if you are playing Sona right here, your champion is insane, but you are made of tinfoil and dreams. You have no HP. You will die to even the straighest of hits. And Karthus dies as well.
Things are looking a little rough here for Dirty Mike, but the health bars are getting lower and lower. They're playing Suicide Karthus, and maybe, just maybe, that's what they're looking for. They're down about 500 gold, but no bases have been picked up here just yet, as Danny trying to find some plays, trying to find some damage down, just cannot do it just yet. The health pad is going to be picked up here. Miasma doing a lot of work, but no kills found for Dirty Mike just yet, but the health bar is lower and lower. Meanwhile, the health bars have come back, and they have their 5-stack back.
Yeah, and as Brad Balster is stuck under the turret here, their HP bars are low, and they aren't able to really contest a whole lot of things. Danny K getting a lot done.
Gorgon takes one down, looking for a little bit more, just cannot commit onto Deadly Asian. One more tick onto Truven would take them down, but no, they can't look for anything more. They could look to try and push this wave, get some tower damage, and maybe look for a dive. They have Karthus, right? They could just look to go in. They have Snowball. They see it ping, looking for more, finds the root, finds the kill with a beautiful combo from the Kiana, but Bond Ninja, Baby Ninja trying to find something, but Nazus goes into the backline, finds one more, will be taken down, though Jerryman falls under the tower, but they do get this next wave in. And Bay Ninja could just look to trade 1-for-1 here, dive the tower, and get the wave with the Snowball.
Yeah, he could absolutely look to do that. We have actually not seen a whole lot of aggro from the Karthus here. The only death Karthus has had has been kind of wasted, and now Bay Ninja is going to get focused down a little bit here, taking a lot of damage. No mana in the tank. They need to position themselves well if they want to make the most of this death. Goes in.
Great spot to die in. Can't do anything off of it, though.
Yeah, absolutely nothing coming out of that. So once again, Karthus is dying, but not a whole lot is getting done. Gorgon's stepping up to try. Oh my god. Kiana is insane in this game mode. Fun fact, wait until we see the ultimates. You may notice that this map is like 50% wall. Imagine what happens with the Supreme Display of Talent. It is no longer a Supreme Display. It's a Supreme Display. I don't know how much talent is involved, though.
Not wrong about that. It is just a display, but it's a crazy display that does go on here, and you can also use the tower as well. A lot of ways to make that ulti pop off here. Ultimate going to be used to just get some poke down onto Danny, but Bay Ninja in a bad spot. Full time's going to be used to take down one. A good ultimate onto the Rumble. Can they take anyone down? The Requiem is not going to be used, and Rumble will stay alive.
Yippee-ki-yay! Danny K not taken down yet. The Kiana lives to fight another day. This Guardian Blade has put in a lot of work here for the Kiana, just that extra innate tankiness, that extra innate ability haste, allowing them to make the most of their champion's kit. The ARAM starter items are underappreciated, folks. You should purchase them. They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
They're so stat efficient, so gold efficient, and they get things done, and they give you a legendary pass off your first mythic as well. But Sona just going for it, popping out that damage, doing something. But the Miasma onto 3, the poison is burning away. Danny K hiding in that bush, looking for a little bit of a play. Has the Supreme Display of Talent available, and we see them grouping up under this tower if he can find a play forward. But Karma looks for some damage down with a Magic Cube, but a good flash from Senna gets her out to safety, but the stun does land. They're looking for a little bit more, and Cassie will take one, trades down 1-for-1. Karma will fall for the snake. Looking for more as Senna's very, very low. Snowball does land. Danny K cannot dash. The Poppy Step out of present is there, but they can't trade it back as Onset will grab another.
yeah, all these trades that Dirty Mike are going for just do not end out very well. Onset will get plus 24 off of Jerryman here.
Dog, baby.
Truvin.
Oh, the Rip comes through.
Oh, never mind. Truvin's song has been sung. He is out of commission here.
Ninja.
And oh my goodness, that is a bad Karthus death. That's a bad death right there, folks. If you are going to die, die with grace and dignity on Karthus here. At least they pick up one off of the Requiem, but otherwise, definitely a little suspect.
Will Gomjabber fall? No! Gomjabber just lives just barely, and Vendetta will be able to run out to safety. But in goes Danny K, finds the root. Onset is so unbelievably low, will be taken down by the poison. Looking for more, the snowball has been landed, but no one's going to take it.
No snowballs being
finds the kill,
yeah, the Sona, once again, made of tinfoil and dreams. You need to position well if you're going to be playing
Danny
Sona.
gets stunned up by Poppy. Can they find the kill? Can they commit? They will be able to do so.
Yeah.
Karma finds that with a snipe from downtown.
+5, by the way. +5 damage dealt.
Plus 5.
10% shielding.
Jerryman.
Sona's insane.
Jerryman's gonna go down. Nothing the dog can do, but Vendetta may have dashed a little bit too far forward. Bane Ninja
Mm-hmm.
trying to find the damage. Will not land those Skittles. Gets a shutdown, though. Gomjabber will find a good stun there onto the MF. The Asian is so unbelievable. Will be taken out. Miasma lands onto Rogue Crown. Rogue Crown falls as well. Onset gets snowballed onto. Forward goes Danny K looking for more. We'll find two. And a big play from the Kiana. It's a huge wipe. And they're going to push down and get more tower damage down as well. Look at the side of that tower from Dirty Mike. No damage. Not a single point of damage taken. But looking at the other side of the map, that tower's about to fall. Poppy goes in.
Yeah, Dirty Mike has had lane control this entire game. That's just the nature of their champions.
It goes
That's
down.
dropping down here. Vendetta trying to get away here. Gorgons is just going to go down from passive damage, and now Rogue Crown has come back into the fight looking to get some shields down. We have the supreme display of talent, but it doesn't really look as much of anything here. Jerryman lives forever, but living forever doesn't mean a whole lot.
If you find one, cannot find two.
Danny K not able to trade multiple kills there, but is able to get something out of his death. A good assassin kills their target. That is really what matters here. From the wipe on the side of Brad Balster, it's important to note that that was Poppy's first death, and that was Misfortune's first death as well. So the two of them were able to get their first back. Misfortune picks up her mythic, the Leandries. We have an AP Misfortune this game. They're leaving all their AD damage to the Senna, while Poppy picked up the Warmogs as her first item. I do not know if the passive is not active yet.
Stunned out though. Great petrifying gaze onto 4, but will they be able to trade it back here? The damage is down. It's a double kill for the Karthus. Looking for a little bit more. Down goes Danny K going forward. Looking for the dashes. One more will go, and Onset will fall. It's going to be another wipe. And they should be able to do so. Claim the kills, and now the tower should be theirs. They should have some free time to get some damage down, but maybe not the tower itself.
Yeah, total party kill right here from the side of Brad Bolster. The death timers, it's 30 seconds, folks.
Big executes.
There we go.
Perfect timing. They're going to be able to get the towers, back it up, but they're going in. They're going to try and trade some kills, trade some damage here. At the very least, use your lives to get some damage down because you have the reset now. Now is your time. And they're going to be able to do so. True Vin already half HP.
Yeah, Gomjabar has just accepted their fate, accepted their demise, letting it go over to who it will. They will take their death here, but man, the siege from the side of Brad Bolster here, the fact they've been able to control the lane, control these minion waves so well with their composition, makes it real. Makes it really difficult here, and Danny K getting a ton of damage out there onto Deadly Asian. As a reminder for those of you who are not ARAM aficionados, Kiana gets plus 10% damage just flat onto everything, and also takes 10% less damage, and has plus 20 tenacity. Because why not? She's an assassin. She's absurdly disgusting in ARAM, because all of them are.
Surely.
She really does. Sometimes it feels like it. I mean, this game, we've been seeing the Kiana just, like, chunk everyone to death, despite the fact that her build is quite interesting. And we do have Vendetta getting slowed down here. Danny K getting into the back here, looking to try and get a supreme display of talent. We'll see if it can be done. Bay Ninja getting poked down there, but it is only the Karthus, so could be not the worst thing to see.
Requiem is up. Snowball is going to land there onto True Vin, onto the Rumble, going at Bay Ninja. Will die in a good spot here. Could look to try and get the Requiem up, get some damage. Bullet time is going to be traded down. It's going to be ultimate for nothing. They will take down the card. This is the very least, but Gom Jabber very low. Beautiful! Petrified Gaze onto 4. The Flash Forward will find 2. Maybe a little bit more. They're looking to try and take down the Karma as well, but Cassio will finally fall. Danny K is down as well. And it's Jerry Man in base, just taking down everything left, right, and center as he cannot take that Hex Gate out to safety, but is on the wrong side of the map here. Should be taken down very shortly. Dash into the wall. Should be able to take out this dog, but the dog will trade it back. Will take down that Yordle in a mech.
Oh my
But
god.
will finally fall to the Poppy.
Yeah. So, Nasus, when you think ARAM Nasus, you may think, oh, he just maxes Spirit Fire and builds AP. No, absolutely not. That's trolling. What you need to do is you just need to build tanky, farm minion waves, because your Q stacks accelerate so fast in this game mode, and you become an unkillable demon, like we see Jerry Man is becoming here on the Rift, or I guess on the Howling Abyss. Requiem does drop.
Oh, onset
is
so unbelievably low.
Yeah, that is plus 5% damage taken on the Senna, of course. We love ARAM stat buffs and stat nerfs. Really is interesting, some of the decisions made. Most of these changes are auto magic. I believe they have like an AI system, you know, it's based on win rates that sort of determines, hey, we gotta nerf this champion, so who can really say if they're intelligent or not?
To 4.
Dropping.
Equalizer is down, but they just don't have the CC to keep anyone locked down as they're all able to walk away. Banin just so unbelievably low. Bust up the Snowball. Could look to dive forward and die in a good spot, but Gorgons will fall. Will be taken down by True Vin, who will trade it back. And in goes Bay Ninja. Will look in the backline, trying to take down 1. Will take down Onset as well. Rogue Crown so unbelievably low. The Skittles are landing, but Vendetta will find another. It's going to be a 2-4-3. And they're trying to take down these towers as Jerry Man so tanky, is not faltering whatsoever in the face of danger, in the face of the entire enemy team. Stunned against the wall, he just does not care. Ghosting forward, takes on the Karma.
Oh my god,
more
plus
Vendetta's next on the menu. Plus 24, baby. As Van should be next as well. The bonk comes down, the stick goes down, DK is here. They're breaching the gates as Asian so low will get taken down the flash forward, but here comes a snowball, the mark goes down, and Jerry Man is so tanky, so strong, the healing is there, but Onset is enough. Has that Kraken's there, will be able to slay that Titan. As we do see Cassio and Kiana making their way over. It's one Nexus Tower standing between the fall of Red Side.
Yeah, and it just seems like Brad Balster don't have the damage to kill this Nasus here. They don't have enough real oomph in their team. They have the Senna, but Senna still has to actually scale. Only 60 souls here onto Onset, meaning that those damage, the compensation nerfs she gets are not exactly playing out here. Senna's supposed to be an accelerated champion in this game mode with her passive, but only 60 is just showing how rough it's been for the Senna in this game to actually do anything. We have Snowball landing.
Beautiful spot, has Requiem available as well, should just use it right upon death. Here comes the Song of Death as they're going to take down 1. Maybe looking for a little bit more, the damage is there, doing a lot of work here, but Gom Jabber's so strong with those shields, providing so much value to the team as Vendetta trying to do so much work here, but Jerry Man can't do anything as Danny K finds the backline, dives onto 3, will find a big supreme display of talent, look for a little bit more as the Miasma will stop Poppy, will take down that Yordle as it's True Vin versus the world. Jerry Man just bonking away at this Nexus as it should fall so unbelievably quickly as True Vin will get bonked down. Plus 24.
And
looking to stack that Nexus as well.
Yep.
Down it goes. Plus 24. Plus 50.
Plus 24 right there. And there goes the battle. Not in the way we expected it, but
the outcome was
the result we expected.
The outcome went as we expected, but it did not go the way we thought. How are we doing, folks? We are back here, and, well, the game went exactly as we thought it would, result-wise, but no, the champs were very different from what we expected to be grabbed up here, but at the same time, it was fun to watch nonetheless. It was just a scrap from minute 1. They were fighting, they were trading, there was no downtime whatsoever for either of us here in this game. It was go, go, go from second 1.
Yeah, and that's really the beauty of ARAM, is you have these kinds of games, or even teams that you think are going to play a little slowly, absolutely not. It's all in, all the time in this game. And really, Dirty Mike, despite the fact that they picked a composition that did not have as many of those tools as they could have taken in terms of engage, just absolutely made the most of what they had. And Brad Balster just they had the same weaknesses we expected, and as a result, they could not respond. They couldn't pressure really the actually squishy members of Dirty Mike because they just didn't have the tools given to them to make that pressure happen. So they just ended up they lost control of the waves, they lost control of the lane, and after that, it was just easy pickings for Dirty Mike to lay down the poke, lay down the pain, and pick up the game.
Mm-hmm. And that is the philosophy of the VAS, just push wave, hit tower, push wave, hit tower. And that's exactly what Dirty Mike did the entire game. They were just pushing waves. Whenever they died on this enemy side, right? They were always pushed up. They died under enemy tower, right in front of enemy tower. They never died on their side of the map. And I don't even think that Brad Balster got to even touch the tier 1 tower at all that game. And that just goes to show how just aggressively Dirty Mike and the boys were playing that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Just great aggression there, and really commendable play from Dirty Mike there. But we are going into a game 2, and we are going to go to a break before we get back in to take a look at our rosters and see who could potentially have the upper hand. Will Brad Balster bring it to game 3, or will Dirty Mike close it out? We'll have to see after a quick break.
Alrighty, so with an explosive game opener here for day 1 of the Victorious ARM series, we can do a little explaining. So yes, there is going to be a different champ pool, a different 15 champs for each side coming in here for game number 2 of the night. It's same thing with game number 3. So, looking at Dirty Mike's team and Brad Balster's team, taking a look at some of these champs that are really, really, prominent here in the ARAM meta, right? Taking a look at Brad Balster, blue side, right? Nidalee, Shaco are going to be some of the most prominent champions coming in here from Brad Balster's side, right? Very annoying, very non-committal. They can just throw out their stuff. Don't have to really worry about getting walked up on after, dropping whatever they have. And
Yeah.
they also do have stuff like the Jarvan, which has been hyper buffed, is incredibly insane currently on the patch. And Ivern also really, really strong as well.
Yeah, Jarvan is also one of those very blessed champions in ARAM in terms of some extra stat to help him along. You can very easily go full lethality Jarvan, and it's not entirely trolling. I don't know if we'll see that this game as much as I think it is funny. I do really like the fact that they've picked the Jarvan with the Anivia here. That's a good combo to have. And Anivia is just like a solid ARAM champion in general. Sion is a bit risky, I would say, because he does become an unkillable monster, but it takes quite a long time for him to do that because Riot has hit Sion with every potential nerf in the book to try and keep this champion from becoming too powerful in ARAM. Because being stuck in a single lane with a bunch of dead minions and champions, that is exactly what Sion wants. He is thriving in that environment. And it makes it hard to... for these early stages, it can really feel like early on Sion, you are just sprinting it down. But as long as Onset plays a little bit more intelligently, I feel like the Sion is going to be a huge X factor for the side of Brad Balster. On the other side, we have some kind of standard champs, including one of the boogeymen of ARAM, Ziggs.
One of the 3 horsemen of ARM, right? The Ziggs, the Xerath, and the Varus. Super long range, just tossing out skill shots left, right, and center. So annoying to deal with. But yeah, it is a very traditional team comp coming in from Dirty Mike, right? They basically have a regular team comp. They have a bot lane, a jungler, a top laner, and a mid laner. So
wait, they actually do though. This is Summoner's Rift? What's going on? That's kind of incredible.
It's an SR comp. But one thing to note, though, they did grab up the Janna instead of the Rel here. So they do have that Enchanter bonus that Brad Balster does have as well. They both have Enchanters on either side. So one thing to note, though, the Janna, though, is a really, really strong champion into Jarvan, right?
Yep.
It is so difficult to EQ in if there's a Janna just constantly there, just like, oh, I'll hold my NATO. Oh, I see a Jarvan. There goes the NATO.
Bye-bye.
Right?
Oh, goodbye.
Bye-bye. You don't get to have any fun anymore. So the Janna is actually going to be a hyper pick here for the side of Dirty Mike here in this game. But Zeri with an Enchanter, so insane no matter how you look at it, right? But she is going to be absolutely worthless until she hits like 3 items.
Yeah, and Ivern, in terms of Enchanters, is one of the few Enchanters that, aside from, Sona and Seraphine, that actually has nerfs on him. Interestingly enough, most enchanters don't actually have buffs in ARAM. I think Janna actually does too. I may have to double check that information in game. But Ivern is nerfed in ARAM because holy moly, his shields are insane. With the short cooldown you can put on them, and then Daisy's in there, literally fist fighting people. Ivern's pretty nuts in ARAM. So
he is one of
I'm excited to see
champions in ARAM, and it's a very, very even composition for both sides. But we're going to head over to a quick break as we get ready for the start of game number 2. You don't want to miss it. Alrighty, everyone. How are we doing? Game number 2 on the way. And both sides are lined up and ready to roll. It's going to be mostly starter items coming out from the side of Dirty Mike. And on the other side, from Brad Balster, they want to power through their items looking at what they have in inventory so far.
Yeah. Looks like Dirty Mike, they have discovered how good the ARAM items are. Maybe they were listening to call. We've already got a fight going on here as Jerry Man's going to be in the front lines trying to get a lot done right now, but first blood's going to go over to the Zeri right here. His onset's going to go down as well. Jerry Man picking that one up.
Flash forward.
Ooh, Piglet is going to get a little bit of danger right here as Danny K puts down a little bit of damage here on the Gragas, but disengages right now. Rogue Crown at so low on the HP bars here. This J4 is out of commission until he decides to take a big death. Danny K looking for something. We'll see if J4 decides to go in and give his life over, if he will wait to see if he can make the most of his 30 HP that he has. But already we've got bloodshed on the Rift.
Big knockup coming in from the side of Onset, though. Finds 2. But the wall can do absolutely nothing as in goes Danny K. We'll find the knockup here. Find a little bit of damage there onto True Vin. We'll find some decent poke, but they just can't confirm any kills just yet. As Onset taking a lot of damage. We'll get poked down a little bit too by those casks that are going out from Danny K. But that's just going to be that. They're going to look to push again, playing so aggressively, pushing forward. They don't care if they die. They just want to get these waves hitting towers.
Yeah, once again, Dirty Mike getting the minions into the turret, getting that turret damage down, maintaining control. Gone! Well, that is quite an ambitious Ziggs maneuver if I've ever seen one. Walking up with absolutely no fear. Also, Ziggs brought the minion dematerializer tech
They're pushing waves,
to the Rift. Push waves, win game. They have done
cannon.
They've done their homework on ARAM right here. They know exactly what they need to do.
Remember, Ziggs is one of the best champions at taking down towers. If you can get that tower to sub 25% HP, it just disappears. It doesn't exist on the map anymore. Ziggs will just throw a satchel charge and down it goes. And look, already these waves are disappearing. They're constantly hitting, and the tower's getting so low constantly. There's nothing they can really do about it. As Onset in a little bit of trouble here. No flash, but Bay Ninja not really prepared. But Danny will find a cask into the backline, take down Jarvan as health bars are so low, and the tower's just whittling down. And again, the same story as game number 1. It's always been push, push, push.
Yeah, Danny rolls the barrel out right there. Gragas, despite the fact that, in my mind, he's a pretty notorious ARAM champion, actually has buffs with his poke, and we have True Vin going to be taking down Gom right here off the front here. Ziggs playing a little bit aggressively right here, but not really to his detriment, as he is able to go back, potentially get something here. I don't think he has a really good gold. Okay, Onset's going to go down. Rogue Crown's going to get a double knockup right here, but there's going to be no follow-up as Piglet is going to have to stay back a little bit. Mark Dash going to go down. Danny K is going to pick that one up with the body slam right here. Jerry Man's going to pick that one. Pick up a kill on the front here as Rogue Crown's going to try and trade, but Danny K, triple kill right now on the big man. The large men ride again as Danny K will get taken down right here. After getting the triple kill, and now Gom's going to be the target here of Onset. Daisy on the Rift, dropping down, trying to get things done as Jerry Man. No mana on the Samira, still just trying to get a little bit of damage here, trying to pick up Deadly Asian before they get taken down, but will go down on their side. Gorgons is now going to be taken down by Piglet up here. He's just trying to trade something down. The Cataclysm goes, claiming the Aatrox here on the front. Gom stays alive, but at rather low HP, and now the siege is on the other foot as Gom gets taken down.
The tower finally takes some damage here for the side of Dirty Mike. They didn't take a single point of damage in game 1, and now they finally lost a little bit of work there. But pushing forward here, they're going to try and get this next wave under. They're going to keep pushing. They're going to play the same way as Ziggs getting more and more AP. And look at that tower. It's almost under that threshold to just get taken down by a satchel charge. Things are looking a little rough here already, right? They may have more kills there on the side, but in goes the Jarvan here. Will be forced to flash by Rogue Crown. A little bit of trouble. True Vin, very, very low. The auto attack will take him down. That passive, the Deathbringer stance will take down the bird.
Yeah, Anivia stepping up a little too far there without passive. But Danny K Oh my god! That was an attempt at a bomba, but we do not have the explosive cast to make it true. Onset will get taken down to the
down
front
tower.
here as the zombie goes down, but Ziggs gets his win con. First turret of the map drops for Dirty Mike, and now True Vin is going to get taken down once again. This Anivia is made Jerry fans on the back line, and that is a total party kill for the side of, in favor of, Dirty Mike and the boys.
TPK goes down here, and they're just hitting away at this tower, but the shutdown goes through. Onset taking a lot of damage here under this tower. Bay Ninja forced to tank up, will not be able to find Onset, and the shutdown goes through, but in goes Onset into the backline, trying to take down either Gom or Gorgons, but the Bomba goes through, doesn't find very much, but Onset will fall as well, trying to get that damage down, trying to get something, will not be able to find anything else though as Gom Jabber running forward, will throw out that big Inferno bomb, cannot claim any kills though, but will deter the wave. The wave goes down, which means there's no pushing power for the side of Brad Balster.
Yeah, the control here from the side of Dirty Mike is really good. The way they're keeping control of these waves. Cataclysm is going to trap 4 into the mix, and now Daisy's going to drop. Rogue Crown staying alive here on the front, as we actually have Dirty Mike getting picked up without trading much HP back. It's only Bay Ninja left on the map right here, as this turret is going to be going down here. First turret of the game for Brad Balster, and now the Aatrox will be taken down. His world has been ended, as it is now. We now see Dirty Mike get back in on the map, and they get to make use of this team disadvantage right here. The HP bars being taken down a little low, but the trades being done before their lives were given up were not as substantial as you would hope. So Dirty Mike is going to have a little bit more trouble cracking through them than they did previously.
Definitely. They had a lot more options there in game number 1. This roster is a little bit more even than last time, as Onset taking a good chunk of damage there. We'll be able to shield a lot of that back up here. But they have the Anivia wave clear now. That's something that we didn't factor in very well. Brad Balster can clear these waves very fast here. They need to find these kills in order to actually push down. But again, they're still playing super aggressively, as Bay Ninja might get engaged on here. Rogue Crown not taking any damage in return. The heal's going to go out. Going to heal up a little bit as the bombs are coming out. Those little grenades doing a little bit of work here. As in goes Rogue Crown, trying to take down one, but will be denied as the shutdown comes through. Zeri goes down, and the egg has been found as well.
That's a big bonus.
They find a shutdown, and Jerry Man into the back line, looking to try and take down the tree. Will not be able to do so, but will be able to take down the king instead. As Onset will find that knockup, will find that unstoppable onslaught, but will be taken down. Danny K will not fall to the tower either, as Bay Ninja will heal up, using those Darkened Blades to get the HP back. And again, look at the tower. It's 50% HP. They will be able to get this one down very quickly, very shortly.
25. Boom.
It's there. It goes down as Pilot will grab one more.
Piglet has opted into their own demise right here. I'm also
True Vin.
True Vin is gonna get taken up right here. Is now Rogue Crown's gonna be on the back line, gonna be able to take down Gom. They trade back here some kills, but this is like what you gotta consider. ARAM fights is like a fighting game here, right? If you get your stock, I guess like Smash specifically, if you get your stock taken, you need to try and get that other stock without losing as much. You can't if you have the stock lead. I'm trying to figure out this metaphor here. If you have the stock lead, you're trying to get as much done as possible, because you already have the advantage here. And Dirty Mike, they have gotten so much from this extra time, these extra stocks that they have over the side of Brad Balster, that they have been able to just get so much more effectiveness out of their HP bars. And we have the Cataclysm doesn't go in on anyone's. Rogue Crown's going to just get taken down like a scrub in the front lines. We have Daisy, but Jerry Man is going to be carving through the back line right here, putting on a show-stopping performance right there. Is that it's just going to be another total wipe here. 5-4-0 for the side of Dirty Mike and the boys. They are going to just hit this inhibitor here. We have 5
an end angle.
Yeah, 3 on the J4, 4 onto the Anivia, but will they have the damage? They do have the Ziggs executes. We have 1 taken down right here, but Ziggs is going to have to wait for that satchel to come back up. Rogue Crown
so low.
He's so low right here,
Ninja
but
will
the
fall.
AK is staying alive. We have one kill taken by the Anivia here, but Gom Jobber gets his job done. He is succeeding
Jerryman!
right here, and Jerryman does not care. He is dashing around. He's dip dodging and diving.
Jerryman!
Throws out the tornado of the century, giving Jerryman all the help they need to clean up that fight on their lonesome. That is Samira at work right here. ARAM Samira, folks. She is crazy.
She has the help, she has the teammates to do it, and now she could look to potentially end the game. Jarvan is up, but should be taking out Truvin. Will be able to find this kill very, very easily. Shutdown goes over to the bird. But things are looking a little rough. They lost everything on the map here for Brad Balster. They have nothing left standing. And the bomb is going to come through. They can't even push the next wave.
Yeah, it is. It's looking a little doomed. Once again, you see the homework that Dirty Mike did. Now Rogue Crown's going to be looking, trying to get a Gom Jobber, but they don't get a lot done. Onset on the back line. I'll toss this over to you. Keep going.
No Bomba available. Will not have that explosive cast, but down goes Rogue Crown as Aatrox has ended his world. Going forward, they're looking for more as Piglet will get pulled back with the Infernal Chains. Looking for a little bit more as Onset will fall to the Darkened Blade, except that one goes wide. The auto attack will do so as long with that Deathbringer stance, and this should just be the game. It's triple kill for the Aatrox here. It's Deadly Asian versus the world. Daisy's trying, but it's just not enough as Daisy's fallen. Daisy's trying her hard out, but it's just not enough. They're autoing the Nexus. Daisy's trying to stay alive, but no, Deadly Asian goes down, and so does Daisy. The knockup comes through. Rogue Crown so low, can't do anything as the Nexus falls, and the game is over. It's going to be a clean sweep for Dirty Mike Gaming. Dirty Mike and the boys popping off here in game 2 of the night, taking home the series.
Yeah, that was quite a swift match here. These are the kinds of ARAM games you expect to play when you only have like 25 minutes and want a quick game. These are the ARAM games in your head and not the 30-minute ARAMs that actually happen when you only have 20 minutes of time, right? But these are the dream ARAMs.
This is what you think of, yeah. All right, I'm just going to hop on and play one more ARAM. I want ARAM before I go to bed, right?
Yeah.
11 minutes, perfect, I can go to bed. No, usually goes to 30 minutes. This is the stuff of dreams, like you said, but I mean, Dirty Mike, they did exactly what they were meant to do. Push, wave, hit, tower. They had one goal in mind. And if anything were to get in the way of that goal, they would just brute force their way through with their damage, with their champs. Just fight, fight, fight for every bit of ground. And sure, they did lose a couple of fights here in game 2, but it didn't matter because they had the game plan in, right? They had the Ziggs. They knew they had their X Factor to just take objectives as fast as possible. Make sure these waves do not hit our tower. The one time they did lose a fight, they lost a tower. But after that, it was just over and over. Just push wave, hit tower. Push wave, hit tower. And I think this might be the strategy here going forward in the Victorious ARAM series.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see these teams sort of figure out competitive ARAM as the series goes on. Because I can't imagine a lot of these players have really spent a lot of time trying to min-max ARAM, right? But there's a lot of room to sort of figure out what is a good strategy here. And I think Dirty Mike brought to the table quite a formidable strategy in terms of maintaining control of the waves, maintain control of the lane, give your opponent absolutely nothing, and then just choke them out of any sort of resources they could ever want. And from there, you just take them down with your big numbers and your sustained damage.
They had the damage to do so. They had the right composition, right? I mean, last game they had no AD carry. It didn't matter. They were just pushing forward anyways. This time they did have an AD carry, but their AD carry wasn't even touching the towers. They was just diving the backline. So they knew what they had to do. And right, even though AP champs don't really have that attack speed, it doesn't matter because you hit towers like a truck. And especially, you know, with the Ziggs, they knew what they had to do. Again, wave control was important, like you did say. But I do also have to say that this was the most even draft that both sides had, right? Overall, when you look at it, you know, both teams had a very, very just consistent composition that they could make things happen with. They both had ways in, they both have good peel, and they both have great area coverage with, you know, Zeri, Samira, Anivia, Ziggs. So they had options here, right? But I do think that a lot of it had to do with the fact that they had no early game pressure. They locked in Zeri. a
Mhm.
locked in Scion. The only champs that really function early are the Anivia and Jarvan, and Ivern's just a peel bot, shield bot. He doesn't really do much for pressure. Meanwhile, you have an Aatrox that can constantly pressure forward. Ziggs will be throwing those bombs, and Samir can look to follow up. And Danny K finding some big body slams there, right? Body slam flash
Mhm.
is doing a lot of work overall.
Yeah, really, Jet. I mean, both. It was a good understanding of the game mode, and I think just great execution as well from Dirty Mike. Not to discredit the entirety of the play from Brad Balster. They didn't go down like complete and total scrubs in that second game. They did get a turret, but they were just outmaneuvered in the Howling Abyss. Which, it's only week one. Still plenty of league left to be played here, and plenty of time to figure out how to really crack the metagame wide open. So, always next week. Keep looking at next week. And, of course, congrats to Dirty Mike for claiming week one here.
Congratulations to both sides. I mean, this is only week one. You still have a lot of time to try and develop your strategies going forward, right? And again, sometimes you'll get good comps, sometimes you'll get bad comps. It is what it is, but it's just figuring out how to play the game out. I think that's going to matter a lot because even if you don't have the greatest champs, you can always make it work if you have a good strategy going in. So we'll see how this develops because competitive ARAM is a different ball game. Yes, a lot of it is mechanical team fighting, but it does have to do with wave control as well. You have to think about that. So we'll see how it does develop later on in the series. We'll find out next week and the weeks to come in the Victorious ARAM series. So have a good night, everyone. We'll see you back here next Wednesday, and take care.